Being a dual sport athlete's definitely tough. I think we've all can agree that there's points when you're just in the middle of season for indoor and you're like, oh my god, I don't want to do this. Or you're in the middle of beach season, you're like, wow, I feel like I just ended this. And it's just so cyclical, there's not really a whole lot of downtime. With that being said, like in return, like it's just so fun. A lot of teams complain like when they're in off season, like they just grind all day and they never get to like compete, and like we get to compete all year long. So like it's just so much fun and we get the best of both worlds. This is the only school still to this day that you can play both at a really high level.
Most of their athletes only have the opportunity to play with one team, and the fact that we get two totally different teams with so many different girls, like we obviously have each other, which is great because going back and forth is a grind, so doing that by yourself would be really hard, but being able to meet so many girls and so many people and make the connections that we make is like incredible. This year I live with a lot of the beach players, so I'm in indoor season now and then I go home and I live with them, so it's actually a fun balance of like, oh, I'm in season and they're kind of grinding and they're off season, and asking them questions like, who are you playing with or how's it going?
It's such a like personal connection on the beach because you're like, okay, like it's us against this team, like no subs, like no anything, like it's just gonna be us and we're gonna work through it. You kind of have to coach yourselves, and so it's just like a lot of like working through things just as a pair, as opposed to like 6 or 7 people on the indoor team.
Playing beach is just so helpful for indoor. I mean, you have to play every position basically.
One of the strengths, especially for an indoor kid, where it tends to be so specialized, that you really play one position, your skill set is tuned into that one position. Playing on the beach, they actually have to play a very well-rounded game, so it gives them a little bit more instinct, some more nuances of the overall flow of volleyball, and I think that helps them a ton indoor.
The other aspect that's huge is that we don't have a coach on the beach. Like it's mostly self-coached during a match. So in indoor, like most plays are called by the coaches. The coach is involved in every play. And playing beach, it forces you to make decisions and forces you to learn how to make game time choices. And I think having that in indoor is just like so beneficial because not a lot of people have that experience.
We got pretty far in the tournament, and like obviously coming up short, like nobody ever wants to come up short, but I thought it was cool because we didn't get where we wanted to be, and I think we kind of carried that over into beach season.
There's definitely a lot of things that we did like as a team for beach, like culture wise, so just the way we train and the way we act towards each other is like definitely like a big reason as to why we won and how connected we are. So bringing those things into the indoor team obviously helps a lot, and then just like playing wise too, like coming off a beach season, like we're in really good shape, we're like jumping higher and moving faster, so we have the advantage to like go back and forth and like gain skills from both that we can bring back and forth to like do anything to try to help each team.
Well, Mac May was probably the biggest one that jumped out because she's a great volleyball player, wasn't as well rounded, still need to learn that component. And I was thinking, well, if she's not with us a lot in the spring, where she can get her passing reps, how are we gonna get her up to speed? She came back fantastic. I mean, her hitting range, her overall ball control, everything she's been doing is so much more elevated now, and I would definitely attribute that to beach for sure. Someone like Zana and Savvy who grew up with it, I think they were already very well-rounded. Those are the instinctual kids on our team that make the most volleyball plays, because they read better, they've just been in it for a long time.
I asked Tony once, like in the beginning of our indoor season, when we do like our passing warm-up, me and Zana never pass next to each other, and I asked him, I was like, why would you not have us pass next to each other if we're going to be playing together a lot? He's like, well, you guys had an entire beach season passing next to each other, so I figured that you would have the communication, the connection already, which makes total sense. I didn't really even think about that, but going back and forth is just, you know, it's a grind, but having each other is great. And I also, when Zana was injured, I played with Mac too, so, you know, all being on the same schedule and spending so much time together, we have connections that like we may not have with girls that are playing just beach, and like since we're crossing over so much, it's a little bit harder to like gain the relationships and the connections with them because we're not with them as much. You know, having the connection with them and being with them year round makes it a lot easier to like bond and like have the communication like on court and off court.
Any Division I athlete loves to compete, and I think that everybody would say that, and the fact that we get to compete year round is just so fun. Beyond that too, I'm very grateful for the coaching staff. They really work together to give us the opportunity to do both and to give us enough time, and they really work with our schedules.
For me, it's just, I'm really grateful that I was able to come all the way here from Iowa and like play at such a high level in both sports, and like not everyone can say that they are a dual sport athlete, and I just think that's an amazing opportunity for all of us.